playing games, no, no. What's my name? Said, what's my name?
ShakaShine.
Okay.
ShakaShine.
What's goody, fam? You already know who it is. It's ShakaShine, and I'm coming back at it with another reaction on ShakaShine Reacts. Today, I gotta give a big old shout out to Travis, and their request was Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, and this is a courtship of rivals basketball. Now, this is part 4, so make sure you see part 1, part 2, and part 3 before you watch this. And if this is your first time watching my sports reactions, make sure you check out the playlist. We have a ton of sports reactions, and if you're coming back for another one, then let's get straight to it.
You crazy. I said, you're crazy. I'm not shooting no commercial with Larry. So I said, okay, what, we're gonna shoot it in LA?
No.
I would never went to LA to film it.
Well, where are we gonna shoot it?
French Lick. Yeah.
If you want to shoot a commercial, come to my house.
Larry Bird. That's Larry Bird for you.
I was like, oh no. One stoplight. I thought Lansing was small. I think the plan was, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do, and I'm trying to get up out of here. My plan was that.
Even after Converse had convinced Magic and Bird to film a sneaker ad together in the summer of '85, a question remained. How would the two hated rivals on the court get along
off the court? Exactly.
I don't know how he's gonna react. I don't know how I'm gonna react.
Excuse
we
me.
didn't even shake hands, so how are we gonna do a commercial together?
The ad was to be filmed at the home Bird had built for his mom. It featured a full-length basketball court, the day's first location.
So they say, okay, you're playing one-on-one, and I'm looking at Larry, and he's looking at me like, is this real? Are we playing? Because, you know, this is Magic and Bird.
Exactly. That was about to be like, yeah, that was about to not be the best decision, to be real.
I could just hear Larry, starting in on, well, you bring it to the basket, and I'm going to send it 30 rows up.
So the guy was like, no, not like that. A fun game. We were both like, oh, okay. Like,
And I bet you, even if they did, it probably started fun, but, gets a little serious halfway through.
You see this relief coming over both of our faces.
That brief détente led to the next stage, dialogue.
We sat down next to each other. How was your summer? Oh, it's going good. How was yours? It's going great. He said, man, it's a nice spread you got.
And he's asked me, is this where you play? I said, yeah, I play here if it's not windy. If it's raining or windy, I go to the gym. But this is where I do all my work.
I see that tractor. You work on the tractor? He said, man, I work on this tractor every day. Larry Bird work on a tractor.
See, not so different. Like, come on, you just gotta have an open line of dialogue to actually, introduce people to new things. And you might think someone's this way, but if you ain't really talked to them like that, you don't know.
It's just them two walking and talking, and every once in a while they'd stop and one of them would say something, and then they'd start laughing.
Then they said, okay, break, it's lunch break time. I was going to my trailer. He said, no, my mother has prepared lunch for us up at the house.
We went up to the house and we sat down there and we talked, and my mom, my brothers thought the world of him.
His mother was so nice, making sure I had enough to eat. I just saw my mother. It was crazy.
He charmed her. You can see it. But that's Magic. He makes everybody feel welcome and warm, and he's a con man.
Oh, let's go.
And while Magic charmed Georgia Bird, it was someone else who intrigued her son.
He met Irvin at lunch.
Irvin is a good dude. I like Irvin a lot better than Magic.
I was just so happy to finally be Irvin with him, because Magic was like, I don't know if I want to get to know this guy. But Irvin got a chance to talk about family.
Exactly.
How he grew up.
Exactly.
We just became two relaxed guys, just talking.
That day was great. It was a great day, beautiful day.
Kind of changed everything in their rivalry, like, you know what I'm saying? So
Still, for Bird, ever the competitor, that's all it was. Just one day.
Magic thinks the next year, okay, well now we're great friends, so, you know, after the game, we're gonna go out, we're gonna have a beer, and Larry's like, no.
No.
You're right. I know you better. You're a good guy, but I still don't want anything to do with you.
At least he's consistent. You know what I'm saying?
Go lucky guy. If me and him got to be really good friends, go out on the court, he could still play the same game. I couldn't. I mean, that's just the way it is.
But when
At least he knew what was up, and he kept business with business.
the ad hit the airwaves, for others, the perception changed.
I saw those limousines going through the cornfields, and I said, no. They didn't sell themselves out.
I heard Converse made a pair of Bird shoes for last year's MVP. Yep. But they made a pair of Magic shoes for this year's MVP. Okay, Magic, show me what you got.
Well, this is really a business thing.
The Bird shoe, the Magic shoe.
And maybe that's where the business thing started to get bigger and began to trump who they both really were.
Exactly.
It polarized the whole idea of lunch bucket versus Hollywood, white versus black. Just cemented all the differences between them.
Kids weren't wearing black gym shoes because they didn't want to be associated with the Larry Bird camp. You wore your white Converse.
The basketball rivals
It was that serious. It was that serious.
morphed into cultural warriors, and race, more than ever, had become an unavoidable part of the conversation.
Yo!
But nothing about Bird and Magic had ever been as simple as black and white.
One of
Yeah.
the big reasons this rivalry became so emblematic of so many
And most things aren't as simple as black and white. Almost nothing is. So,
things is because it was an easy dichotomy
me.
for people to understand. But it's crazy to simplify it as saying white people like Bird and black people like Magic because 13% of the country is black. But it wasn't like 87% of basketball fans preferred the Celtics.
exactly.
Who's your favorite basketball player? Magic Johnson. Who's your favorite movie star? Eddie Murphy. Pino, all you ever talk about is nigga this and nigga that. And all your favorite people are so-called niggas. It's different. Magic, Eddie, Prince are not niggas. I mean, they're not black. I mean, let me explain myself.
Has the N-word ever been used by a white person to describe Irvin? I doubt it.
But as Magic enjoyed his image as a crossover star, it was Bird, the one-time great white hope, who had further emerged as the polarizing racial figure, due in part to that era's increasingly conservative political climate.
Oh, gosh.
Rolling back institutionally of the achievements of the civil rights movement were going on apace from about 1975 on. But the triumph of the movement that rolled it back took place in the 1980s. And I think there was people who were very aware in the black community of what was going on. And I think there was a lot of sublimated frustration. And I think one of the ways it got sublimated was into basketball. And I think Larry, through no fault of his own, was the receptacle within which the lingering resentments somehow floated.
Which is messed up. Again, messed up.
And after Bird led the Celtics to the championship in 1986, his third in the pros, winning his third straight MVP award in the process,
Let's go.
the resentment grew.
I bet.
I always felt that the press was biased in favor of Larry Bird. It always felt to me like they were gonna make Larry the hero. You know, you'd see somebody score and Larry would be in a cast in a suit on the bench and they'd say, Larry Bird made that possible a couple weeks ago when he told that guy he could do it, and he just did it.
Come on, Arsenio.
They gonna get his motherfucker the assist and he not in the game?
Not to be racist, but we have a white guy who's the best in the world. It's predominantly a black sport now. And you got a guy like Larry Bird who can't run, who can't jump, but can do everything out there.
That don't mean nothing to me. It don't mean anything to me. It never has.
Good.
I don't know why. I mean, am I doing something wrong here?
Bird may have sought to avoid the conversation entirely, but the more he won, the less he could escape it.
Exactly.
Now there's a steal by Bird. Underneath the DJ, lays it in. What a play by Bird.
In 1987, after Boston beat the Detroit Pistons to advance to the finals for the fourth straight year,
Let's go.
Pistons rookie Dennis Rodman called Bird overrated because he was white.
Dennis Rodman sounded a little bit salty about this. I've heard this story before from the other reactions I've done, and I'm not gonna lie, it seems like Dennis Rodman was a bit salty.
His teammate Isaiah Thomas then chimed in with some thoughts of his own.
If he was black, he'd be just another good guy.
I mean, that's to each their own. I personally, I wasn't around that time, so I don't know. But it could be, couldn't be. But either way, you couldn't just put it out there like that as if you know it. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely a 50-50. He did say, I think so. He did put a disclaimer out there, but you never know, so.
I can remember in the locker room, I think it was Jack McMullen came up to me and said, Isaiah just said, boom, 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 boom. And I go, so?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't care. He didn't care. Everybody else around him cared very deeply in the days and weeks as it turned out ahead.
I mean, the media made it out like it was something. But it didn't matter to me what Isaiah or Dennis Rodman said. And it still don't. It has no bearing what I do in my life.
Exactly.
He doesn't see race. He really doesn't. And he could have. This guy grew up poor, white, in southern Indiana. Southern Indiana, the home, by the way, of the modern Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah.
How he managed not to be affected by the cultural milieu that he grew up in is, I think, a miracle. To me, it's inexplicable.
When I was in about 6th or 7th grade, I couldn't wait till school be over because I knew over on the courts, the waiters from the hotel would be over there. They were black, older, and they let me play. You know, I always looked at that as I got an opportunity to play against a black man, and they treated me good. I couldn't wait to play against the best, and at that time, they were the best.
Simple as that. Like I said, just people. Simple as that.
In 1987, as Bird vied with Magic to be the best, the flap over Isaiah Thomas's racially fueled remarks forced Bird to address his least favorite topic at the worst possible time.
Oh,
I had to go to a press conference when I was in LA trying to get ready to play the Lakers and tell people I didn't care. This don't bother me.
The main thing is that if the statements or whatever was said doesn't bother me, I don't think it should bother any of us.
From playing all year trying to get back to the finals and play against Magic, this was a distraction.
Yeah.
Bird was facing off against Magic for the 3rd time in 4 years.
Whew.
And if their relationship had softened, the determination to beat each other had not. As Game 4 proved, the level of competition between them was higher than ever.
Bird played awesome down the stretch of that game.
Trailing 2-1 in the series, the Celtics were down by 1 point in the final minute of the game. But Larry Bird wouldn't be easily vanquished.
Let's go. Close and closer, let's go.
With 7 seconds left, though, the Lakers still had life. 3 years earlier in the '84 finals, Magic had flubbed a similar situation. But this was a different Magic, one with a whole new bag of tricks.
My man switched to Kareem, and Kevin McHale jumped out to me. As soon as I saw Kevin, I said, oh, I'm taking him.
You know, Magic puts it on the floor, a couple head and shoulder fakes, and he raised up in the air, and there was nobody that was going to get that shot.
Woo! Tensions are high.
I remember after they called timeout thinking, there's still a shot here. Celtics may still win this game.
Well, they set up a great play. Bird walked worthy.
Wait, is this the shot that Bird misses? Again, we've done a ton of Larry Bird reactions. And there's one shot that everyone, I even thought it was going in, and it just bounces off the rim.
All the way up. Forced the denial all the way up.
I think this is it.
We've done it before. Clear everybody out, go to the ball, and break to the corner. You
caught it here, and as he caught it, all he had to do was turn. And just turn, and he just let this thing go.
Bird fires it.
Got a wide open look, couldn't believe it.
And I'm standing right there. It is straight as an arrow.
Dead on.
Yep, it is that one. Oh, see, this is the first time I've seen the background of this. Oh, no. Oh, my gosh.
They were lucky because it was right on line.
He looked at me like, how did you ever leave me that wide open?
You gotta be kidding me. Changed the whole series.
Yep.
The Lakers won the series in 6. And in the aftermath of a year in which Magic had won his first MVP, the rivalry suddenly took on a new tone.
Magic's just a great basketball player. He's the best I've ever seen, you know. Unbelievable. I don't know what to say.
Unbelievable. I just don't know what to say, straight
I
up.
was shocked that he said it. Because I thought to myself, maybe this is the beginning of a new era that's not going to include him. It was the passing of the torch a little bit.
After vanquishing Bird in '87, Magic wasn't done winning. The following year, he squared off in the finals against his good friend Isaiah Thomas and the Pistons, beating them to become the NBA's first repeat champions in 2 decades.
Let's go.
By the dawn of the 90s, he'd won 5 titles, played in 8 finals, and equaled Bird's MVP tally of 3.
Jeez.
But the more Magic won, the less Irvin seemed to be around to reap the spoils.
Which again, you gotta stay grounded. You gotta stay grounded.
Once I tasted the champagne and the championship, I wanted more of that and more of that. So Magic kept growing because we were successful. And the persona and all of that came with that.
The Prince of LA was now the king. And in Hollywood, being royalty had its perks.
It does.
Wow. What was Irvin Johnson's vice? Now, you know, my publicist wants me to say winning.
Women.
But women loved Irvin.
Period.
Back then, before voicemail, they used to have these mail slots in the hotels where you leave your key. And when we get into a town, Irvin's mail slot would be so packed, and it would be just Susan and a phone number, Linda and a phone number, Joyce and a phone number.
Come on.
And that was every city, every time.
All right, so that right there is part 4. We have one more part to get through. It should be the longest part of this whole thing. But again, learning something new every single day. I'm messing with this. Again, thank you, Travis. You are truly appreciated for putting this on my radar, because I didn't think I was going to learn too much more about these two. And I'm learning a whole lot more than I thought. If you learned something, please let me know what you learned. Put it in the comments. And if you're making it this far, you might as well hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that comment button. Let me know your favorite Magic Johnson or Larry Bird game and what else you want to see me react to. If you're already doing that and making it this far, then I got to say thank you. Truly appreciate every single one of y'all. With all that being said, you know I'll be back at it with another reaction tomorrow.